What's up, guys? This is another update on my manga project D Hunter, and basically this update is just about some of the past work that I've done. I decided to do this because I'm not really finished with the character description drawing videos, and so I decided to show you guys a bit of my past work, some stuff that are in pre-production that I've just started, and I might not really go back into it, but they're just some ideas that I came up with, some comics that I started, but I decided to move on to other things like D Hunter, and so yeah. So basically, this is my portfolio for basically my comic strips and stuff. Um, yeah, these are really good for putting your comic books in a nice professional layout when you're showing it to professionals or just to get a review. Yeah, these binders are great. And so yeah, let's start. So this is a comic that I started with my friend. It was called Bloodlust, and so it's basically about a young samurai swordsman who is trying to become the best swordsman in the world, and so he decides to travel around the world and challenge a bunch of samurai dojos and masters in the hopes of defeating them and taking their titles. And yeah, basically that was it for the first idea. This is just the second chapter when he finally reaches his first town. All of these are drawn. I back then I didn't have any manga studio stuff with me, so they were all just literally drawn traditionally. I had some shading markers and stuff, and I used that to basically do the tonings and a bit of line work. This next one was originally the comic that I was working on. It's called Dragon Knight, and it's about this kid named Haru who finds that he's part dragon, and he could able to transform into these certain people known as Dragon Knights. And it was basically a very complicated story, and so I kind of stopped with that idea, and I'll probably go back into it because I really liked the concepts. But basically it was this kid, Haru Dragos. He would eventually join an organization known as Chaos Theory that basically committed themselves into unstabilizing bunch of countries that were considered to be corrupt by government officials, and they would just go in there and corrupt, and he was meant to defeat the coming of the dragon gods, people who are dragons with the ability to turn into humans. And dragon knights are basically humans who could turn into dragons, and they would gain their dragon powers so that they could defeat the coming dragon gods. And so yeah, this was basically the cover for the first chapter and the cover of the book that I was about to print, that I wanted to print actually, but I never got to that point. And so this is just the first cover chapter. And these are like the first page, the introduction page, and these are just raw pages. They're all drawn. There I didn't have any Manga Studio or Illustrator or Photoshop programs at that time, so these are purely drawn. The tonings are all line work, continuous line work, and yeah, that was the first chapter. This was the second chapter. Those dialogue bubbles were handwritten. Yeah, they were just impossible to do. But I heard back then this is how they used to do it before they had computers. This was the second chapter, and basically that girl character is searching for Haru because she knows that he's a dragon knight and the only one who's able to defeat the coming threat to their world. And Haru works in this bar that's run by this old man right here. So yeah, and then these are just other pages that I did. The old man said something slick, so you see that the girl kind of hits him in the face, or kicks him in the face. And then this is Haru right here. This was the first time you see him in the comic, his introduction. Like, she feels this certain burst of energy, and it's coming from him. And yeah, and then this is the next chapter. And as you see, these pages got a bit complicated. Too many panels, and I decided to have to do a redesign of the comic and try to limit the comic story a bit. So yeah, these are just some roughs that I did. This is where the inking kind of stopped. I usually started penciling the pages and then I'd start inking. So these are all just drawn. The paneling didn't really change all that much, and it got really complicated. So yeah, this is basically my old comic. I hope you guys like the update. Please subscribe for more, and the next character description will be in the next video. See you then.